The Japanese language has its own word for corporate slave, and that is shachiku, which means company domesticated livestock. It's kind of more degrading than corporate slave. I don't know. So Japan is notorious for its really bad work culture. I know. Is it an exaggeration? Is it a lie? Let's discuss. If you're from Europe, I think you're gonna think it sucks. If you're from America, maybe you won't think it's that bad. Other places, I don't really know, but I don't think Japan's like the worst in the world. I think China or Korea might be worse. I don't know. So I've been living in Japan for 7 years now. I worked 4 jobs here in that time. 2 of these were like teacher kind of things, but my most recent 2 have been in corporate, fully Japanese offices. And I don't think there's actually that many people on YouTube who do work in Japanese in a Japanese company. So I think I can help shed some light on the reality. My previous company was about a mid-sized company, I'd say, at about 100 people. And my current one is actually, it's like huge. It's on the Nikkei, which is like a Fortune 500 company kind of thing here. And at both of these workplaces, over 95% of the people I've worked with have been Japanese. Like, it's not a foreign environment. I've never worked for a gaishike, which is actually the kind of company people like aim for here. They say is the best to work for, because gaishike is a foreign company and they're usually known for having better work-life balance and higher salaries and things like that. But I didn't do that. So I'm gonna cover a lot of points in this video, but I want to talk about the reality of working in Japan, like as a normal person. Like, I'm basically a salaryman. So I'm gonna talk about the Japanese workforce in the context of like the general population. So this isn't just gonna be for foreigners. And we're gonna cover the most contentious and bad point, maybe, salary, at the end of the video. So before we enter this discussion, you need to know there is a hierarchy. And, you know, Japanese people don't just mindlessly like seek out like really bad jobs. So I did not come up with this naming convention. Okay, it's not me. But companies here are separated into 2 categories. You're gonna have black companies and white companies. And you can probably guess where I'm going with this. The black companies have like a lot of overtime. They're really bad, blah, blah, blah. And white companies generally like have higher salary, work-life balance, etc. I don't think I've ever worked for a black company. I don't know if I'd say both of my companies have been like fully white either. So overtime, I think Japan is known for having egregiously long overtime hours for normal people. It's true, but it doesn't have to be for you. So there's kind of this societal expectation in Japan where you shouldn't leave the office until your boss leaves the office. And also, if you're young, you should be there before your boss arrives too. So this equals a very long working day. But this is changing. People don't care about it as much anymore, but it totally depends on your office. It totally depends on your manager and everything like that. I leave before my boss almost every day in both of the companies I've worked at, and no one really cares. So, but yeah, overtime here is tricky. I don't know what the average overtime is per day. I'll put it here. But I'd say it's not uncommon to stay at the office like 1 to 2 hours late every day. And if you're at like a really black company, there are people who genuinely work from like 8 a.m. to 10, 11 p.m. even. Like, they exist for sure, but you can avoid them. Overtime is just kind of entrenched into Japanese work culture now. Like, a lot of people say that like they don't even really get started working until after the workday ends, because like they're in meetings and stuff all day. So overtime is just kind of unavoidable for a lot of people. I don't know. I have one coworker and she recently told me that when she was like interviewing for jobs, one of the places she was interviewing at asked if she was okay with overtime, and she hesitated for like a few seconds and they rejected her, and they told her the reason was because she hesitated on that question. I don't want to work for that kind of place anyway. So how long is the working day? Usually, most companies, it is still like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an hour lunch break in there. Both of the companies I've worked at, however, have been 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The good part of this is you get to skip the morning rush hour train. I think that's why they do it. The bad part is you don't get home till like 8 at the earliest. In line with that, let's talk about PTO. If you're European and watching this, brace yourselves. Most people start off with 10 days off, and it's 10 days off like no matter what level you're joining the company at. So started my previous job, 10 days off. I move here, still start at 10 days off. Like, unless you're entering like at like a pretty high level position, you're probably gonna start off with that. There are a few companies that have the minimum PTO a bit higher, but I think the highest I've ever heard is 14. And if you go to like a normal Japanese company, it's probably gonna be 10. And then it will max out at 20. I have never heard of any more Japanese companies going above this. Maybe there's a few, but it's really not normal at all. However, there are a fair amount of public holidays, like we get a lot of Mondays off, and there's also a mandatory break at the end of the year, so this does not count as part of your 10 days off. It'll be like 3 or 4 days for New Year's. And then some companies also give an extra summer vacation for the Japanese holiday of Obon. So in reality, you do get a bit more than 10 days off, but like it's not great. And also you can't take any days off for the first 6 months you join a company usually. So I can't take any days off right now because I just changed jobs recently. One thing I really don't like about PTO here is it's really hard to take more than like 5 days off in a row at once. You're probably gonna get a lot of pushback if you try to. Some companies literally just won't let you, or even 5 days, like a lot. And yes, that I'm literally just talking about a week off. As a foreigner, I get the special privilege of playing the Christmas card for winter, and I usually use like most or almost all of my PTO to go home for the holidays for more than 7 days because it takes 20 hours just to fly there. Okay, one thing that really pisses me off though is there's no sick leave in this freaking country. There are some companies that have sick leave. However, a lot don't. And even if they do, almost no one uses it because they'll take the PTO instead if they're like actually sick. Like, first of all, you're going to the office unless like you literally are too sick to go to the office. You're gonna go to the office. And I don't know, I researched this because I was like, why? And I guess it's because most Japanese people don't even like fathom that they're gonna use all their PTO in 1 year. So they're like, I'll just use it because I have a fever. Sorry, what? Next, something unique about Japan, or maybe this applies to other Asian countries too, I'm not really sure, but it's not like this in America at least. And that is that entry-level employees here are basically like unskilled apprentices. And that's what they want. Like out of college, first of all, your degree, it doesn't matter usually. Like it matters like a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. They want a blank slate that they can train. Like they're literally gonna spend the first year of your like post-college life. The company is gonna spend that year training you into being like the corporate drone they want at like most Japanese offices. That's just normal. It's expected. They expect you to just be so stupid. And like, they don't even think you know how to use like Word or anything like that. Like this is so different from America. It's crazy. So if you are thinking about moving to Japan for work, I recommend first of all, visit the country or like come as like a language student or something first, because that's a big thing to get into. And when you are coming over for a short period of time, you're gonna need internet, which is why I'm glad to say the sponsor of today's video is the always trusted Saily. If you don't know what Saily is by now, it is a new eSIM service brought to you by Nord Security. eSIMs are way better than pocket Wi-Fi. You don't need to like worry about charging something or bringing something extra in your bag or anything. And honestly, it's just great. Once you do eSIMs, you cannot go back. You can't go back. So if you want to use Saily, all you have to do is download the app on your phone, which you can do through this QR code up here. Go ahead, scan it. Woo. And then you're just going to choose the country you're going to be traveling to. So it can be Japan, but if you're going somewhere else, good news, they have service in like 200 destinations. So after you pick your country, you're going to choose how much data you want. I always get more data than you think you're going to need. Trust me. And then all you have to do is install the eSIM and make sure you activate it. Activate it before you go to wherever you're going. Then once you land, it's just gonna connect automatically to the local cell network tower things. It's great. It's literally that easy. Like I literally just went to the US like 2 weeks ago. I used it. I called Uber at the airport. Everything was fine. It was very good. So when you do go to buy your eSIM, just make sure that you use my code at checkout, Allison in Tokyo. Or you can use my link at saily.com/Allison in Tokyo, and this will get you 15% off your first purchase. Thank you, Saily. So if you've ever watched anime, if it's like a high school anime, like the girl will like just move to a new town, and the reason's gonna be because like her dad transferred for work. Now this happens in other countries too, I know, but oh my God, in Japan, it's like so common, especially before. I think now it's a bit less, but oh my God, they really transfer people anywhere and you can't say no. If you say no, you're basically saying you quit. Like, this really pisses me off about teachers, because teachers, public school teachers, and where I lived in Gifu Prefecture, they had to be transferred to different schools like every like 5 or 6 years or something. Like had to. So the commute. So in Tokyo, the average commuting time is about 45 minutes each way. And of course, most people here usually do take the train in Tokyo. The train experience, it really sucks. The pushing you see, it's real. I thankfully don't have to go through that every day, but I did for a short period of time, and it is actually miserable. I'd say more than the time itself, the experience is something that you really have to get used to. The train kind of sucks. There's a lot of trains, but they're all at like 300% capacity. So, however, there's a good part, and that is that basically all companies in Japan will pay your commuting expense. This is like standard. Basically every company here does it, even for part-time work. So your train fare is going to be covered. And even if you work in the countryside, they're going to cover your gas. So that's a positive. We got one good thing, guys. Great. Let's have another good thing. So you have to get a mandatory health check every year. And it's thorough. Like they take your blood, they check your eyes, your hearing, your heart or whatever. I don't know what they do. They do everything. You even have to bring your poop and pee in a little baggie to them. But this is free. Your company covers all the costs. They are required to by the government. And from America, this is awesome. And because I'm still young, it's not like super thorough. I get it done in about an hour. But once you're over 40, I think, you basically have to go for like a almost all day like health exam every year, I think. Like it's like super thorough. Next, lifetime employment. I think this is also another classic characteristic of companies in Japan. The image that once you join a company after college, you're gonna be there until you die, basically. This is still true to an extent. It's really normal in Tokyo, especially, to transfer and change jobs. Especially if you're like under 40, this is really common now. I'd say most people probably change jobs every like 3 or 4 years here in Tokyo. Rest of Japan's a little different. But I know America also used to be like this until like, what, the 90s, 2000s? So I think you can just think of everything in Japan as being about 20 years behind, like in general, and that's probably gonna be pretty accurate. So things are becoming more like liberal, more free here, and not just in that way, but also in clothing. So I'm sure you have this image of the Japanese salaryman and like in a suit and tie every day to work. There's definitely a lot of offices that still do this. I'm not saying they don't do this anymore, but you can escape it. Really, it depends on, I'd say, your industry and also the area your office actually is located in. Like if you go to Shibuya, like look around and see how many people you see in a suit. You're not gonna see that many people because it doesn't really fit the Shibuya vibe. Like it's just it just doesn't work. Most companies in Shibuya have a pretty free dress code, or at least it's gonna be business casual probably. Like my office now and the office before, actually there's no dress code. So I can wear whatever I want. I'm just wearing kind of a nice shirt for the video. Sorry, that's my secret. I wear cargo pants to work. However, if you go to Marunouchi or something like the financial district in Tokyo, everyone's probably gonna be in a suit and tie. Also, since COVID, hybrid work is pretty common now. It's not at every company. The more traditional companies, look, just don't work at a super traditional company if you're worried about like anything I'm saying in the video, basically. Yeah, the more traditional companies, you will still have to go to the office every day. But I'd still say there's like a pretty good chunk of companies in Tokyo, maybe like 40, 50% that do allow hybrid work. And there's also still some fully remote jobs, but they have decreased a lot since COVID. Next, because this is a video made by not Japanese person, let's talk about discrimination. So discrimination definitely exists. It totally depends on what job you're applying for and where you're applying for it. Like it's so different. Yes, it will exist. However, as long as you have the skills and you speak Japanese, if you need to speak Japanese for the job, you can make it work. I'd say the bigger problem with discrimination here is actually gender. So, and it's kind of strange because I think Japanese women have it harder than foreign women sometimes. It kind of just depends. Again, it just so depends on so many factors. But I have definitely been discriminated against because I'm a woman, and also because I'm a white, not Japanese woman. And one thing I am worried about here, honestly, is that I don't know how high up I could go in a career here. Like, I don't know if I can get into management. I don't know. But I say don't worry about it too much. It really just depends what kind of things you want to do. If you're trying to be a software engineer or something here, there's like so many foreign ones from like every country. But the gender thing really, I think it really affects everyone, including me, in the salary department. So So salary here in general has been stagnant for like 30 plus years. It really sucks. So the average salary in Japan across all ages is 4.2 million yen right now. I'll put a breakdown of ages or whatever here. This is all Japan, by the way. Salaries in Tokyo are a bit higher, but this average salary is actually lower than it was in the 90s. But things have only got more expensive here, like 100%. Everything costs more. Rent's gone up. Taxes have gone way up since the 90s. Like, I wasn't here in the 90s, I know, but I have Google. I'd really say the salary, honestly, the salary thing is like the worst part of working here for me. Because I think if I went to the US and I was doing the same job, I'd probably make almost double what I'm making, or probably double. So is it a mistake to work in Japan? I don't know. Here I am. Salaries especially are quite low when you're first starting out here, but it can get better once you get like a few years of experience under your belt. I promise. Can get better. That's also why people change jobs here now, because they want more money. So you know what? Yeah, there are a lot of bad jobs here. There's like a lot of really bad jobs here, but it's not all of them. You might get unlucky. Your first job here might kind of suck, but you can't escape, and it's not like all miserable, especially if you're not Japanese. I would say this is kind of a benefit to being foreign, is that I can honestly get away with saying a lot of things and doing a lot of things I don't think I could get away with if I was Japanese. Like, I honestly say like my opinions at work, like when I like don't understand the logic behind like a decision or something like that. Like, I'll just say it. I don't care. And you know, I just say, sorry, American style. I think a lot of Japanese people here get kind of stuck in really bad jobs because honestly, I think their self-value is very low. Like, I don't think they like think they can get a much better job anywhere else. I don't know. Like, so many Japanese people I talk to just seem very unconvinced that they have a skill set that is marketable, like the ones that are in these bad jobs, I mean. But also I think people who are get stuck in these bad jobs also are just so tired that they don't have time to even look for another job, and it's just kind of like a ruthless, vicious cycle. So yeah, you know, like anywhere in the world, a lot of it just kind of comes down to how good your boss is. I mean, you could have a really bad boss in a company in, I don't know, France, and your job would probably suck more than like my job, you know? I don't know. And also things are changing. It definitely is getting better. But you know, the younger generation is slowly getting more and more into the management roles. And as that continues to happen, I really think things will get better here. Slowly but surely. Japanese people live forever. So there's a lot of old people in offices. They don't retire. Okay, so please like the video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what interesting thing you learned in this video, or if you have any comments you'd like to say about anything I've said. I'm not some employment master or anything like that. It's just what I know from working and living here for 7 years. And look, I'm actually fine. If I was like in some like evil situation or like I really hated my job, guys, I'd quit. Like, I really think it's fine. My last job was fine. My current job is also fine. Like, really, I think I got quite lucky. Okay, thank you. Goodbye, my fellow corporate slaves.